Hello friends, welcome to Premier UPSC IAS. So today we are going to discuss about the Indian geography. The topic is soils in India. Soils. Soil is the mixture of rock, debris and organic materials which develop on the earth's surface. The major factors affecting the formation of soil are the following: relief features, parent material, climate, vegetation and other life forms, and time. Besides these, human activities also influence into a large extent. Components of the soil are the following: mineral particles, humus, water, and air. The actual amount of each of these depends upon the type of soil. Divisions of soils. On the basis of genesis, color, composition, and location, the soils of India have been divided into the following categories: alluvial soils, black soils, red and yellow soils, laterite soils, arid soils, saline soils, peaty soils, and forest soils. Last year, there was a question on laterite soils in prelims. Let's dive into the details of different type of soils. Alluvial soils. They are found in the regions of the plains of Gujarat, Punjab, Haryana, UP, Bihar and Jharkhand. They are rich in potassium and lime. They lack in nitrogen and phosphorus. Crops grown in the alluvial soils are large variety of rabi and kharif crops such as wheat, rice, sugarcane, cotton, jute, etc. Black soil, regular soil, black cotton soil. In the black soil also there are two types. One is regular black soil and the other is black cotton soil. The regions where this black soil is found is Deccan Plateau, which includes parts of Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, Andhra Pradesh and some parts of Tamil Nadu. The black soil is rich in lime, iron, magnesia and alumina, whereas it lacks in phosphorus, nitrogen and organic matter. Character of slow absorption and loss of moisture retains the moisture for a very long time, which helps the crops, especially the rain-fed ones, to sustain even during the dry season. Third type is red and yellow type of soil. It is found in the regions of eastern and southern part of the Deccan Plateau, that is Odisha, Chhattisgarh and southern parts of the middle Ganga plain. They are rich in iron and potash. They lack in nitrogen, phosphorus and humus. The crops grown in red and yellow soil are wheat, rice, cotton, sugarcane and pulses. Laterite soils. They are found in the regions of Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Madhya Pradesh, Assam and Odisha hills. They are rich in iron oxide and potash. They lack in organic matter, nitrogen, phosphate and calcium. They are help in growing the crops such as cashew nuts, tea, coffee and rubber. So this was a question last year. Coffee grows in which soil? That is laterite soils. Arid and desert type of soil. They are found in the regions of western Rajasthan, north Gujarat, southern Punjab. They are rich in soluble salts and phosphate. They lack in humus and nitrogen. Crops grown are only drought resistant and salt tolerant crops such as barley, rapeseed, cotton, millets, maize and pulses are grown in the arid and desert type of soil. Saline and alkaline type of soils. Western Gujarat, deltas of eastern coast, Sundarban areas of West Bengal, Punjab and Haryana. They are having this saline and alkaline type of soils. They are rich in sodium, potassium and magnesium. They lack in nitrogen and calcium. The crops grown are, therefore, they are actually unfit for agriculture because of the saline nature. Peaty soils found in the regions of heavy rainfall and high humidity where there is a good growth of vegetation. Organic matter in these soils may go even up to 40 to 50%. These soils are heavy and black in color. It occurs largely in the northern part of Bihar, the southern part of Uttaranchal and the coastal areas of West Bengal, Odisha and Tamil Nadu. Forest soils. The forest soils are formed in the forest areas where sufficient rainfall is available. They are loamy and silty on valley sides and coarse grained in the upper slopes. In the snow-bound areas of the Himalayas, they experience denudation and are acidic with low humus content. The soils found in the lower valleys are fertile. Methods of soil conservation. Check upon cultivable lands on slopes from forming. Contour bunding, contour terracing, regulated forestry, controlled grazing, cover cropping, mixed farming and crop rotation, constructing a series of check dams. So this could be a simple question. Which are the methods of soil conservation? Out of all this could be an option and one we have to select. Lakes in India. Lakes. A lake is a body of water having a considerable size localized in a basin that is surrounded by land apart from a river or other outlet that serves to feed or drain for the lake. Lakes lie on land and are not part of the ocean, and therefore they are distinct from lagoons. Means lagoons are actually a part of ocean. Lakes are also larger and deeper than ponds. Natural lakes are usually found in mountainous areas, rift zones, and areas where glaciation is in progress. Most lakes have at least one natural outflow in the form of a stream or a river, which helps in maintaining a lake's average level by allowing the drainage of excess water. India has many lakes, and these differ from each other in the size and other characteristics. Most lakes are permanent, while some contain water only during the rainy season, like the lakes in the basins of inland drainage of semi-arid regions. There are some of the lakes which are result of the action of glaciers and ice sheets, while the others have been formed by wind, river action, and human activities. Lakes of large extent are called the seas, like the Caspian Sea, the Dead Sea, and the Aral Seas. Classification of the lakes based on salinity. Freshwater lakes. Most of the lakes in the world are freshwater lakes fed by rivers and without flowing streams. Example, Great Lakes of North America, Vular Lake and Dal Lake. Saline or salt lakes. Salt water lakes are formed where there is no natural outlet or where there is rapid evaporation of water and the draining surface of water table has a higher than normal salt content. Intense evaporation in these lakes leads to negative freshwater balance. That is, more water is lost in evaporation than what is gained from rivers. Therefore, these lakes are saline. Examples of salt lakes include the Great Salt Lake, the Aral Sea, the Dead Sea, Sambhar Lake, and Pangong Tso. Playas or salt lakes are common features of desert landscapes. Based on the formation, tectonic lakes, the movements of the Earth's crust resulted in the formation of largest lakes such as the Caspian Sea and the deepest called as Lake Baikal. In India, Vular Lake, present in Jammu and Kashmir, is the largest freshwater lake formed due to tectonic activity. Volcanic lakes. These are lava-blocked lakes formed due to subsidence of a volcanic land surface. Further, crater and caldera lakes are formed during volcanic explosion. In any dormant or extinct volcanoes, rain falls straight into the crater or caldera, which has no superficial outlet and results in the formation of a crater or caldera lake. Example, Crater Lake from the crater of Mazama Mountain, Oregon, US. Oxbow Lake, a meandering river across a floodplain, forms cutoffs that later develop into oxbow lakes. Example, Kanwar Tal in Bihar, Asia's largest freshwater oxbow lake. Glacial Lake. Most of the freshwater lakes that are in the Himalayan region are of glacial origin. Example, Guru Dongmar Lake of Sikkim. Lagoon. Spits and bars form lagoons in the coastal areas. Examples, the Chilika Lake, the Pulicat Lake, and the Kolleru Lake, etc. are actually the examples of lagoon. Artificial lake, lake that is made by man to store water for community use. Example, Guru Gobind Sagar, Bhakra Nangal project. Use of lakes. A lake helps to regulate the flow of a river. During heavy rainfall, it prevents flooding, and during the dry season, it helps to maintain an even flow of water. Lakes can also be used for developing hydel projects or power projects. They moderate the climate of the surroundings, maintain the aquatic ecosystems, enhance the natural beauty, help develop tourism, and provide recreation. Natural vegetation in India. Natural vegetation. Natural vegetation refers to a plant community which has grown naturally without human aid and has been left undisturbed by humans for a long time. This is termed as virgin vegetation. Thus, cultivated crops and fruits orchards form part of the vegetation but not the natural vegetation. The virgin vegetation, which is purely Indian, are known as endemic or indigenous species, but those which have come from outside India are termed as exotic plants. The term flora is used to denote plants of a particular region or period. Similarly, the species of animals are referred to as fauna. This huge diversity in flora and fauna kingdom is due to the following factors. One, relief, that is, the relief of land and soil. Second, climate, temperature, precipitation, and photoperiod, that is, the exposure of the sunlight to that area. Types of vegetation in India. India is a land of great diversity of natural vegetation. On the basis of common features such as chief vegetation type and climatic regions, Indian forests can be divided into the following types: tropical evergreen and semi-evergreen forests, tropical deciduous forests, tropical thorn forests, montane forests, littoral and swamp forests. Tropical evergreen and semi-evergreen forest. Location: the western slope of the Western Ghats hills of the northeastern region and the Andaman and Nicobar Islands have these tropical evergreen and semi-evergreen forests. The semi-evergreen forests are found in the less rainy parts of these regions, and mixture of evergreen and moist deciduous trees are found. Climatic conditions for these tropical evergreen and semi-evergreen forests are warm and humid areas with an annual rainfall of over 200 centimeter and annual mean temperature above 22 degrees centigrade. Vegetation: tropical evergreen forests have no definite time for trees to shed their leaves, flowering, and fruition. The important species found in these forests include rosewood, mahogany, and ebony, etc. The important species of semi-evergreen forests are white cedar, hemlock, and kale. Only the names are important pertaining to prelims exams. Tropical deciduous forest. Most widespread forests in India are tropical deciduous. They spread over regions which receive rainfall between 70 to 200 centimeter. On the basis of the availability of water, it is divided into the following: moist deciduous and dry deciduous. Moist, found in northeastern states, eastern slopes of the Western Ghats and Odisha. Rainfall between the 100 and 200 centimeter. Important species are teak, sal, shisham, hora, mahua, amla, semul, kusum, and sandalwood, etc. Dry deciduous forests found in the peninsula and the plains of Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. They shed their leaves completely and the forest appears like a vast grassland. The rainfall range should be between 70 to 100 centimeter. The important species are tendu, pallas, amalthus, bale, khair, axlewood, etc. Tropical thorn forests. Location: semi-arid areas of the southwest Punjab, Haryana, Rajasthan, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, and Uttar Pradesh. Location: climatic conditions are rainfall less than 50 centimeter. The plant remain leafless for the most part of the year and give an expression of the scrub vegetation. Important species are babool, bear, wild date palm, khair, neem, khejri, pallas, etc. Montane forests. This type of forest can be classified into two types: northern mountain forest and southern mountain forest. The northern mountain forest. Location: foothills of the Himalayas, higher hill ranges of northeastern India, hilly areas of West Bengal and Uttaranchal. Important species are oak, chestnut, pine, deodar, alpine forests and pastures, silver firs, junipers, pines, birch and rhododendrons, etc. The southern mountain forests. Location: Western Ghats, especially in the Kerala, Tamil Nadu and Karnataka, and the Vindhyas and the Nilgiris. Important species are magnolia, laurel, cinchona, and wattle. Littoral and swamp forest. Location: about 70% of this comprises areas under paddy cultivation. The Andaman and Nicobar Islands and Sundarbans of the West Bengal. The Mahanadi, the Godavari and the Krishna Delta rivers. These deltas occupy most of the littoral and the swamp forests. The mangroves grow along the coast in the salt marshes, tidal creeks, mud falls, and estuaries. Wetlands in India. The country's wetlands have been grouped into the following 8 categories, such as the reservoirs of the Deccan Plateau in the south, together with the lagoons and other wetlands of the southwest coast, the vast saline expanses of Rajasthan, Gujarat and Gulf of Kutch. Freshwater lakes and reservoirs from Gujarat eastwards through Rajasthan, that is in the Keoladu National Park, and Madhya Pradesh. Fourth, the delta wetlands and lagoons of India's east coast, example Chilika Lake. Fifth, the freshwater marshes of the Gangetic Plain. Sixth, the floodplains of the Brahmaputra and the marshes and the swamps in the hills of northeast India and the Himalayan foothills. Seven, the lakes and rivers of the mountain region of Kashmir and Ladakh. And eighth, the mangrove forest and other wetlands of the island arcs of the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Mangrove forests in India. The mangrove forests are found in the areas of coasts influenced by tides. Dense mangroves are the common varieties with roots of plants submerged under water. The deltas of the Ganga, the Mahanadi, the Krishna, and the Godavari and the Kaveri are covered by such vegetation. In the Ganga Brahmaputra delta, Sundari trees are found. That's why the name Sundarbans, which provide durable hard timber. Palm, coconut, Kiora, agar, also grow in some parts of the delta. So let's continue. Agriculture in India. Introduction. India is an agriculture dependent country. Two-thirds of its population is engaged in the agricultural occupation. Agriculture is a primary occupation which produces most of the food that we consume. Agriculture produces also a raw material for various industries. The farming type varies from subsistence to commercial type. At present, across India, the following farming systems are practiced. Types of farming. Farming is practiced in various ways across the world. Depending upon the geographical conditions, the demand for the produce, labor, and the level of technology, farming can be classified into two main types. These are the following: subsistence farming, commercial farming. Subsistence farming. This type of farming is practiced to meet the needs of the farmer's family. Traditionally, low levels of technology and household labor are used to produce on small output. Subsistence farming can be further classified as primitive subsistence farming and intensive subsistence farming. Primitive subsistence farming. Primitive subsistence agriculture is a type of farming is still practiced in few areas of India with the help of primitive tools like a hoe and digging sticks and family or community labor. It depends upon monsoon, natural fertility of the soil, and suitability of other environmental conditions to the crops grown. Primitive subsistence agriculture includes shifting cultivation and nomadic herding. Primitive form of cultivation area. Heel. The type of cultivation is heel and the area is Himalayan. Bewar or Dahiya in Madhya Pradesh. Pama, Dabi or Koman or Bringa in Odisha. Kuruva in Jharkhand. Hodu or Panda in Andhra Pradesh. Kumari in Western Ghats. Shifting cultivation. Shifting cultivation is practiced in the thickly forested areas of Amazon basin, tropical Africa, parts of Southeast Asia and Northeast Asia. These are the areas of heavy rainfall and quick regeneration of vegetation. A plot of land is cleared by the felling the trees and burning them. The ashes are then mixed with a soil and crops like maize, yam, potatoes and cassava are grown. After the soil loses its fertility, the land is abandoned and the cultivator moves to a new plot. Shifting cultivation is also known as slash and burn agriculture. This type of shifting allows nature to replenish the fertility of the soil through natural processes. The land productivity is low as the farmer does not use fertilizers or other modern inputs. It is known by different names in various parts of the country. Slash or burn farming. Name and the area. Jamming is named as in Assam, Meghalaya, Mizoram and Nagaland. Pomlu in Manipur. Dipa in Basta district of Chhattisgarh and in Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Milpa in Mexico and Central America. Conuco in Venezuela. Roca in Brazil. Masol in Central Africa. Ladang in Indonesia and Ray in Vietnam. Intensive subsistence farming. Intensive subsistence farming is practiced in areas of high population pressure on land. It is labor-intensive farming where high usage of biochemical inputs and irrigation are used for obtaining higher production. This form of farming is best developed across the world and practically confined to the monsoon lands of Asia. It is found in the regions of China, Japan, Korea, India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, the great part of Southeast Asia. Commercial farming. The commercial type of farming is the use of higher usage of modern inputs. For example, high yield variety seeds, chemical fertilizers, insecticides, pesticides in order to obtain the higher productivity. The degree of commercialization of agriculture varies from one region to another region. For example, rice is a commercial crop in Haryana and Punjab, whereas in Odisha it is a subsistence crop. The plantation is also a type of commercial farming. Plantation. In this type of farming, a single crop is grown on a large area. The plantation has an interface of agriculture and industry. Plantations cover large tracts of land using capital-intensive inputs with the help of migrant laborers. All the produce is used as a raw material in the respective industries. Major plantations are found in the tropical regions of the world. Rubber in Malaysia, coffee in Brazil, tea in India, and Sri Lanka are some examples. In India, tea, coffee, rubber, sugarcane, banana, etc. are important plantation crops. Tea in Assam and North Bengal, coffee in Karnataka are some of the important plantation crops grown in these states. Since the production is mainly for the market, a well-developed network of transport and communication connecting the plantation areas, processing industries, and markets play an important role in the development of plantations. The characteristic features of plantation type of farming are the following: large estates or plantations, large capital investment, managerial and technical support, scientific methods of cultivation, single crop specialization, cheap labor, and a good transport network which links the estates to the factories and markets for the export of the products. Branches of agriculture: vermiculture, the cultivation of earthworms, especially in order to use them to convert organic waste into fertilizer. Tissue culture, the growth in an artificial medium of cells derived from living tissue. Apiculture, apiculture is the practice of keeping bees as well as the manufacturing of honey and beeswax. Sericulture, the production of silk and the rearing of silkworms for this purpose. Pisciculture, breeding of fish in especially constructed tanks and ponds. Horticulture, growing vegetables, flowers and fruits for commercial use. Viticulture, the cultivation of grapes. Floriculture, the cultivation of flowers. Farming based on water availability. Irrigation farming. It is to protect the crops from adverse effects of soil moisture deficiency, which often means that irrigation acts as a supplementary source of water over and above rainfall. Rain-fed farming. It is further classified in the basis of adequacy of soil moisture during cropping season into the following two: dryland farming and wetland farming. Dryland farming. It is largely confined to the regions having an annual rainfall less than 75 centimeter. These regions grow hardy and drought-resistant crops. For example, ragi, bajra, moong, gram, and guar fodder crops. In these regions, practice various measures of soil moisture conservation and rainwater harvesting. Wetland farming. The rainfall is in excess of soil moisture requirement of plants during the rainy season. Such regions may face flood and soil erosion hazards. These regions grow various water-intensive crops such as rice, jute, and sugarcane, and practice aquaculture in the freshwater bodies. Irrigation system in Indian agriculture. Irrigation in India. Irrigation refers to the process of supplying water to the dry land as supplementation of rainwater. It is mainly aimed at cultivation. There are various types of systems of irrigation practices in India. Types of irrigation. Less than 50% of the land is irrigated across the country. Irrigation in India is mainly classified into the following types: well irrigation, tank irrigation, canal irrigation, drip irrigation, surface irrigation, and sprinkler irrigation. Well irrigation areas: Rajasthan, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh. There are various types of wells such as shallow wells, deep wells, and tube wells. Shallow wells. Shallow wells. From the shallow wells, water is not always available as the level water goes down during the dry months. Deep wells, more suitable for the purpose of irrigation as water from them is available throughout the year. Tube wells, a deep tube utilizes electricity for pumping water. It can irrigate a much larger area, about 4,000 hectares, than a surface well. Tank irrigation areas, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Telangana, mainly in southern India. Reservoirs are mainly made by constructing dams. Tanks are constructed for storing water. From these tanks, water is carried to the field through canals. Canal irrigation areas, Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, West Bengal, Odisha and Bihar. Around 40% of the total irrigated land in India is irrigated by the canal irrigation. In many places, during the rainy season, there would be a flood in the rivers. The flood water is usually carried to the field through canals. They supply water only when there is a flood in the rivers and therefore are of no use during the dry season when water is required the most. Perennial canal irrigation. In order to supply water throughout the year, reservoirs are constructed for storing water. Using these reservoirs, water can be supplied to the fields whenever there is demand for it. Drip irrigation, also known as trickle irrigation or micro irrigation, an irrigation method that saves water and fertilizer by allowing water to drip slowly to the roots of plants, either onto the soil surface or directly onto the root zone through a network of valves, pipes, tubing and emitters. It is achieved through narrow tubes that deliver water directly to the base of the plant. Modern drip irrigation was initially developed in Germany in 1860. Mainly, bamboo is used to hold and distribute water in drip irrigation. In India, plastic tube is also used. Surface irrigation. Water moves over and across the land by simply gravity flow in order to wet it and all to infiltrate into the soil. It is also called as flood irrigation. Sprinkler irrigation. It is also known as overhead irrigation. Water is piped to one or more central locations within the field and distributed by overhead high pressure sprinklers. Crops of India. Cropping seasons of India. Three seasons: Kharif, Rabi and Zaid. Kharif from June to September. Rabi from October to March. Zaid from April to June. Major crops cultivated differ in northern states and southern states. In Kharif, southern states rice, cotton, bajra, maize, jowar and tur. In southern states, rice, maize, ragi, jowar and groundnut. Rabi. In the northern states, wheat, gram, rapeseeds and mustard, barley. In the southern state, rice, maize, ragi, groundnut, jowar. Zaid. In the northern states, vegetables, fruits and fodder. In the southern states, vegetable, rice and fodder. Kharif crops. These are grown with the onset of monsoon in different parts of the country and these are harvested in June to September. Important crops. Kharif crops are paddy, maize, jowar, bajra, tur, arhar, moong, urad, cotton, jute, groundnut and soya bean. Most important areas of rice cultivation are Assam, West Bengal, coastal regions of Odisha, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Tamil Nadu, Kerala and Maharashtra, particularly the Konkan coast along with the Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. In states like Assam, West Bengal and Odisha, three crops of paddy are grown in a year. These are Aus, Aman and Boro. Rabi crops. This season begins with the onset of winter in October and November and ends in the March and April. The low temperature conditions during this season facilitate the cultivation of temperate and subtropical crops such as wheat, barley, peas, gram and mustard. The availability of precipitation during winter months due to the western temperate cyclones helps in the success of these crops. The success of the Green Revolution in northern India has been an important factor in the growth of the above mentioned rabi crops. Zaid crops. This crop season is in between the rabi and the kharif seasons. There is a short season during the summer months known as the Zaid season. Some of the important crops produced during the Zaid are watermelon, muskmelon, cucumber, vegetables, and fodder crops. This type of distinction in the cropping season does not exist in the southern parts of India. In these regions, the temperature is high enough to grow tropical crops during any period in the year, provided the soil moisture is available. Important crops. Food crops. Food crops are wheat, rice, maize, millets, and pulses. Fiber crop. The four major fiber crops grown in India are cotton, jute, hemp, and natural silk. Plantation crops. Sugarcane, oilseed, rubber. Beverage crop also are plantation crops are tea and coffee. Rice. Rice is the staple food crop consumed by the majority of the people in India. Our country is the second largest producer of rice in the world after the Republic of China. It is a kharif crop. Growing zones. The plains of north and the northeastern India, coastal areas and the deltaic regions. Other zones: Punjab, Haryana, Western Uttar Pradesh and parts of Rajasthan. Climatic conditions: high temperature above 25 degrees centigrade, high humidity with annual rainfall above 100 centimeter. In the fewer rainfall regions, it grows with the help of irrigation. Wheat. Wheat is the second most important cereal crop. It is the chief food crop in north and northwestern part of country. It is a rabi crop. Growing zones are the Ganga Satluj plains in the northwest and black soil region of the Deccan. Other zones are Punjab, Uttar Pradesh, Haryana, Bihar, Rajasthan, and parts of Madhya Pradesh. Climatic conditions: a cool growing season and bright sunshine at the time of ripening. It requires 50 to 75 centimeters of annual rainfall evenly distributed over the growing season. Millets. Millets are grown as a coarse grains. They have very high nutritional value. Important millets grown in India are jowar, bajra, and ragi. Ragi. It is very rich in calcium, iron, and other micronutrients and roughage. Major ragi producing states are Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Himachal Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Sikkim, Jharkhand, and Arunachal Pradesh. Bajra. It grows well on shallow black soil and sandy soils. Major bajra producing states are Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, Gujarat, and Haryana. Jowar. It is the third most important food crop with respect to area and production, and it is grown in rain-fed areas. Major jowar producing states are Maharashtra, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, and Madhya Pradesh. Maize. Maize crop which is used both as food and fodder. It is a kharif crop and also grows during rabi season. Climatic conditions: requires temperature between 21 to 27. Grows well in old alluvial soil. Major maize producing states are Karnataka, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, and Madhya Pradesh. Pulses. Pulses are the major source of protein in a vegetarian's diet. Our country is the largest producer as well as the consumer of pulses in the world. Major pulses that are produced in India are tur, arhar, urad, moong, masoor, pears, and gram. Climatic conditions: it needs less moisture and survives even in dry conditions. Major pulse producing states are Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan, Maharashtra, and Karnataka. Cotton. Cotton is one of the main raw materials for cotton textile industry. It is a kharif crop. Major cotton producing states are Maharashtra, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Tamil Nadu, Punjab, Haryana, and Uttar Pradesh. Climatic conditions: it grows well in a drier parts of the black cotton soil of the Deccan Plateau and requires high temperature, light rainfall or irrigation, 210 frost-free days, and bright sunshine for its growth. Jute, also known as golden fiber. Major jute producing states are West Bengal, Bihar, Assam, Odisha, and Meghalaya. Applications: it is used in making gunny bags, mats, ropes, yarn, carpets, and other artifacts. Climatic conditions: it grows well on the well-drained fertile soils in the flood plains where soils are renewed every year. It requires high temperature during the time of growth. Sugarcane. Our country is the second largest producer of sugarcane only after Brazil. Sugarcane is a tropical as well as a subtropical crop. It can be grown on a variety of soils. Climatic conditions: a hot and humid climate with a temperature of 21 degree to 27 degrees centigrade. Annual rainfall between 75 to 100 centimeters. The major sugarcane producing states are Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Bihar, Punjab, and Haryana. Oil seeds. Oil seed crops together occupy about 40%, 14% of the total cropped area in the country. Major oil seed crops are that are growing in India are groundnut, rapeseed, mustard, soybeans, and sunflower. Major growing zones are drylands of Malwa Plateau, Marathwada, Gujarat, Rajasthan, Telangana, Rayalaseema region of Andhra Pradesh, and Karnataka. Tea. Tea is an important beverage crop introduced in India initially by the British. It is a labor-intensive plantation crop. Climatic conditions are this plant grows well in tropical and subtropical climates endowed with deep and fertile, well-drained soil, rich in humus and organic matter, warm and moist, frost-free climate throughout the year. Major tree-producing states are Assam Hills of Darjeeling, Jalpaiguri districts, West Bengal, Tamil Nadu, and Kerala. Other states are Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Meghalaya, Andhra Pradesh, and Tripura. Coffee. Coffee is a tropical plantation crop. There are three varieties of the coffee that are Arabica, Robusta, and Liberica. India grows mainly Arabica coffee, which is known in the world for its good quality. Major growing areas are the Western Ghats in Karnataka, Kerala, and Tamil Nadu. Karnataka state alone accounts for more than two-thirds of the total production of the coffee in the country. Rubber. Rubber is an important industrial raw material. Rubber is an equatorial crop, but under special conditions, it is also grown in tropical and subtropical areas. Climatic conditions: a moist and humid climate, rainfall of more than 200 centimeter, temperature above 25 degrees centigrade. Major growing regions are Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Andaman and Nicobar Islands, and the Garo Hills of Meghalaya.